How does the Narwal X10 Pro make life easier for a busy family with a newborn? Well, that's the question I wanted to answer in today's video. Me, I review tech all the time. I tell you how much better it is than the previous model and what new features you can expect. But instead of doing that for today's review, I gave the X10 Pro to a friend who has a newborn baby that has never used a robot vacuum before. So whether you have kids, a ton of pets, or you're a bachelor like myself, today's review should be a fresh perspective, a different view from any other review you're going to get of Narwal's brand new model. Welcome to my channel, Bad Tech, where I try to help consumers like you pick through the bloated tech market and find products that really work. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is just subscribe right down below. Narwal's X10 Pro model is the latest affordable entry by one of the top Robo Vac companies. Coming in at a regular price of $699, Narwal has supercharged this with 11,000 PAs of suction and all of their anti-tangle technology. This means you get both their anti-tangle roller brush and their brand new side brush, which actually reverse spins to release tension and suck up any stuck clumping hair. I really like that feature because on a lot of other models, every month or so, you have to pull off the side brush, take out the clumping hair and pop it back in. Just another time saver. For the price, I was also surprised to see they included their extendable mop head. Now this helps to get closer to baseboards and a little bit more into corners. It was a feature that was originally added to their more expensive models. The majority of Narwal's models now come with the complete base station. Now this means you get both a large clean and dirty water bin, but you also get the 180-day vacuum bag. This is a game changer because you don't have to have those smaller 7-week ones that are built into the robot, and you also don't have to empty the dustbin all the time. Instead, it gathers up right inside of the base station, and it also uses hot air at around 104 Fahrenheit to disinfect and dry up any moisture. And yes, the mop heads also self-clean when it returns to the base station after it's done its task, and this allows them to last a little bit longer. Here's a pro tip. The only things you'll ever have to clean yourself with this device is the robot. Every once in a while, I just tip it upside down and give it a wipe. Grit, grime sometimes gets stuck to it. And the bottom portion where the mop heads are cleaned, this has to be taken out and rinsed every once in a while. Otherwise, it's pretty much a hands-off experience. Now for the part of the video I think the majority of you are going to find the most interesting. Like I said in the intro, I gave this model to a friend that has a newborn in a pretty big household. Now he has never used one of these complete models before, and that means I have a ton of both good and bad authentic feedback from a newbie user. So let's dive into what he noticed after a month of use. First thing he noticed is how easy the mapping out process is. This is when you first use your robot and it ventures around your whole home, scanning walls. It can detect furniture and it even labels rooms for you. Now yes, this is not 100% accurate, but you can edit your map later on and move everything around. He pointed out how it labeled the kitchen stools, but one really cool feature was even when he moved the stools, the robot was able to adapt to the fact that they were moved and clean where they were. So the maps aren't necessarily set in stone. It can still detect small changes in the room and clean those areas. And that also includes sensing different texture floors, such as carpet. Since these mop heads actually have a lift on them, you don't have to worry about it accidentally mopping those areas. And this model actually uses 2 different navigation systems. It has LiDAR and then 3D structured light. And those work together to make sure it has maximal obstacle avoidance and can sense objects that are very low to the ground as well, such as remotes. Not as fancy as some of the more expensive models that have built-in cameras, but still does the job. One big aspect was little spills. I mean, you can imagine a newborn household, whether you're cooking or they throw some baby food around, you're gonna get those. I always say robot vacuum mops right now aren't meant to do large spills and messes, but they can typically handle little ones. This was something they really noticed because instead of cleaning a whole room, you can actually customize specific zones. So when there is a mess, it's just coming out for a few minutes, cleaning that mess, and then going back to its station. And that's a major time saver for a lot of households. This could be places where there's a lot of cords, or in my household, it always got stuck between the wall and the toilet. It just didn't learn that there wasn't quite enough room there. But that's where you can create a no-go zone, which is essentially a virtual boundary where the robot will not enter. Also useful if your toddler has a play area where they're constantly going, you don't have to worry about it accidentally running into them. That extra powerful vacuum apparently was a lifesaver as well for like spice spills or just dirty carpet that gets a little bit too much grit and grime on it. More than powerful enough to clean up light messes and then just go back and empty them directly in the base station. Most of his feedback was directed towards the app and all the cool features that being in the Narwal ecosystem offers. I guess as someone that's not a tech professional, he basically said that this thing's awesome and I wish I had it sooner. Because yeah, if you live a busy lifestyle, this is gonna make your cleaning routine a little bit easier. I of course did have some time with the Narwal X10 Pro as well, and I can tell you this is probably one of the better, affordable, complete all-in-one base stations I've seen on the market. And the reason why I say this is some of these price range models don't come with a large vacuum bag inside of the base. And these big vacuum bags are game changers because it just takes so much less maintenance out of the whole experience. Right now, you can pick up the Narwal X10 Pro for around $699. I imagine there's some pretty good sales, so you might be able to get it even cheaper. I've included the link right down below in the description, as well as any coupon code that Narwal gives me. Honestly, Narwal's robot vacuum mop combos have been my favorite out of all the brands I've tested. And I think they far outshine Eufy, which is one of my favorite consumer tech companies. I almost wish I had more bad things to say about it since this channel is called Bad Tech, but really it's just a solid unit at a pretty affordable price when you look at its counterparts. Like always, subscribe before you guys leave. I'll see you later.